when I do the countdown, I get in trouble. I'm sitting here with my countdown like 5, 4, 3, 2, and then the FBI comes knocking at my door.
What is it you pray for?
Oh, this is gonna be good.
Greetings, salutations, and welcome to the 131st episode of Abyssal Musings. My name is Samuel the Infamous, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Lawrence Knight.
Salutations and greetings. In case you're wondering, yes, my jaw is still hurting. It's been fine all week, and then all of a sudden, around 3 o'clock today, jaw pain comes back, tooth pain comes back. Hey, you thought we were gone, and no MF, we're still here.
Yeah, and also, although less painful, I think probably by a significant order of magnitude. I think I might have my settings turned up a little high because when the guns kicked in on the intro, like that was really loud in my ears.
Oh yeah,
anyway.
yeah. You got to turn them down because the the special part of the greeting is definitely loud.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think I might have bumped my volume settings on my mic or something like that because it came in much louder than I remember it being. So it is what it is. Zillage, no, he's it's not a dislocated jaw. I think you wouldn't be able to talk at all if that was the case.
No, my jaw will be wired shut.
Yeah. So now it's just like nerve pain, tooth pain, that kind of thing. You know. So I've had it plenty of times myself. Actually, there have been times we've done the show where I've been so doped up on pain medication, and I'm surprised you guys couldn't tell. So it is what it is. Pod Home Lighthouse, welcome in. So no, what I meant by that was I'm sure it sounded fine on y'all's end. I think my personal audio settings were set up a little too high because it was really loud in my earphones. So yeah, no, I don't think it. The volume is consistent for the actual video clip. But yeah, I think my own stuff was set up just a little bit too high. So yeah, indeed. So we're expecting Devil probably in a little bit here, and I don't know if anybody else is going to swing on by, but I mean they might not. We'll see what happens. And all that. So let's go ahead and say hello to the chat before we get too much further. Before I forget, because I will. Because I did recently on a live stream. First up, Lawrence Knight. We've got Aaron Laura with us. Welcome in. Carrie, good to see you. We've got Jacob Gallo. Howdy. Pod Home Lighthouse. Welcome in. Let's see. Scrolling on down, we got Zillage with us. Good to see you, man. Ardent Party coming in with the K-Pasta Chuckle Fucks. Not much, you know. We're just here doing a live stream, you know. Chuckle Fucks might be a bit much, but welcome in. And that's everybody so far. If you are in
Beak.
Oh, hey, Beak just dropped
Aerial
in.
bullet or ballet.
Did you see Ariel? Wow, well, it's just jumping on me. Wow. Okay. Hi, Ariel. I didn't mean to miss you. I'm sorry.
Ariel just dropped in.
Yeah. So if you are anywhere on actually here's the thing. So we're on YouTube and we're on Rumble for sure, right? Because I'm looking at the Rumble stream and I'm looking at the YouTube stream. They're both live. Twix, I'm not so sure about because Twix was having problems earlier today. I hope we're live on that. Possibly. You know, they kind of changed how their live stream shit works anyway, so it's really hard to find the actual live stream if it's yours. You know, if somebody subscribed to if I'm subscribed to a channel, they pop up all the time. But if they're mine, it's very difficult to find anymore. So I don't know if we're live over there. But if we are, and if you're in that chat, you know, feel free to drop a comment and let us know you're here. That said, what's going on tonight, Larry?
Well, we've got I wouldn't say it might be an action-packed stream today. Excuse me, guys. I'm trying to work around this. So basically, it's not we're calling it tooth pain, but what happened is a few years ago I had a root canal, and they put a cap on one of my molars, and the cap disintegrated thanks to a piece of chicken that I got from I think I want to say it was from uh I forget the name of the I forget which restaurant it is, but basically I have an exposed nerve. Like the nerve is completely uncovered, and I had to go get medication last week because I could not. I mean, I was in tears last week. I couldn't even talk. Like we were backstage, probably seconds before we were going on, and I was like, I had to go into. I think I had to go into the private chat, and I was just like, I can't do it. I was, so, but I stayed on. I just muted myself and stayed on, hoping that the pain would go away because I was taking medication. But the meds just was they it just wasn't doing anything. In fact, the meds didn't kick in until 3 a.m. my time, and then I was fine all week. I was just take the meds. I was taking the meds just in case, but I was fine all week, and I let up a little bit. And about three, like I said, about 3 o'clock today, boom, just like last week.
Hmm. Yeah. Have you ever noticed how pain like that, specifically like nerve pain in your jaw and stuff, and stuff related to tooth pain, like persistent toothaches or, cavities or that kind of thing? Have you ever noticed how the pain intensifies when the sun goes down?
Yep.
Like I don't know what it is, if it's like a lunar thing, maybe, or what, but yeah, it always seems to get worse when the sun goes down or when you're trying to sleep. The sleep thing I get because you're laying down and it changes like the way shit's, ordered and all that stuff. Yeah, I
Well, the
don't know.
laying
It's just
down
it's a weird,
helped.
it's a weird
The
little thing I've
laying
noticed.
down is the laying down is what
Hmm.
helped last week.
Maybe it just put it into a position where it wasn't putting any pressure on it.
Maybe I don't know. And I was laying on the side where the tooth pain is.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Zillage asks, what's worse, nerve pain in the tooth or the foot? So I've had fractures in my feet that hurt less than nerve pain in my face. But I don't know that I've had like what you would call nerve pain in my foot, so I don't know that I could compare those. So yeah, I'm not sure. If you're strictly talking nerve pain, then I couldn't tell you. But if you're talking about like other kinds of pain in your feet, you know, um, then I'd have to say that probably the worst pain I've ever personally experienced has been nerve pain in the jaw. Although one of my brothers had chronic kidney stones, and he will tell you that that's 1,000 times worse. So,
Mm,
you know,
yeah, and I
so
pray I never have that.
yeah, yeah. I'm kind of surprised I never have because I've had a lot of soda and carbonated beverages of that sort with lots of like chemicals and sugars in them throughout the course of my life. I'm kind of surprised it's never happened to me. Fingers crossed. Where's the wood? Knock on the wood. Welcome in, BTK. So,
Yeah. So as for today, um, so today we have a spotlight. Now, of course, Monsters Ball. That's the other thing I'm doing announcement on Monsters Ball. So I had to do some reorganizing on Monsters Ball because I realized that one of the matches that we've done over the last couple of weeks, one of the combatants, as I call them, had actually already been eliminated by another fighter. So I went back and I looked at my chart, and I was like, oh, okay, well, we're having round one, and then we'll call round two. So what round one and round two, basically, what those matches are consisting of, um, round one is for characters that we haven't gone over, and so that's why you're seeing spotlights. Like tonight, um, is a Monsters Ball spotlight. on a character that's it's a Marvel character. What's going on, Iron?
Yeah.
But it's a Marvel character that has a deep history, has caused a lot of havoc, and is spidered in. Even is rumored to be spidered into parts of the MCU. If it's round two, then these are characters that we've either we've gone over in some kind of way or have already fought once, and so there's no need to do a spotlight on them because it would at that point it would be beating a dead horse. So um, as it stands right now, uh, the next upcoming match is one of the two last spots before we actually go into the next rounds of fights. So and there's 12 slots. So the next one will be will be Gozer from Ghostbusters against a Marvel classic, which is Mephisto. It's a nice spotlight is on Mephisto, who is I thought he
Satan.
was Marvel. Hmm?
He's
Well,
basically Satan.
he's not. I mean, basically, it's like the way Stan Lee, it was because he was created by Stan Lee and another guy, and the way that they made him is just like he pretends he's Satan. He's Satan, but he's not Satan.
Right. He's an extra dimensional being, like not unlike Dormammu, right? But he
Right,
certainly styles himself after the devil, and he makes deals like the devil and that sort of thing. But
right.
um, yeah.
So
So
he's the
yeah,
he's the he's the devil without saying he's the devil.
right. I think wasn't the other guy Jack Kirby, or am I wrong?
No, no, Jack Kirby. It wasn't Jack Kirby.
Yeah,
Ja
I don't know.
Jack Kirby. I mean, he. I mean, he's man. That guy is Jack Kirby's a legend, man. But no, he didn't have a hand in Mephisto.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess we'll have to go through it to find out, Arden Party, because they're both interdimensional beings, of
Yeah,
immense
and
power. So
oh yeah, and you have to look at it this way too. And I'll just jump into it a little bit. Mephisto doesn't. It's not like he's not without his weaknesses. Right? He's strongest within his dimension. So when he leaves it, you know, he can get weaker, and that's why he's gone up against people um Doctor Strange. You know, so he can be defeated just like Gozer. Gozer is more of a fighter versus Mephisto, who is more of a manipulator. So it's an interesting matchup because both are insanely powerful, but they also have weaknesses that humans with special powers or something that they can overcome. Same
yeah,
thing
like
with
crossing the
Dormammu.
stream.
Yeah, yeah, across the street. Same thing with Dormammu. I mean, Dormammu's got all those powers, but yet he lost a fist fight to Doctor Strange. And that's what, and their battle, that all the battles they had, that's what it came down to. Dormammu was like, you know what? He was like, F the powers. I'll beat you with my fist. And Doctor Strange was like, okay, and it didn't go well for him.
Yeah, yeah. So, Arden Party saying that Mephisto wins on-screen representation played by Peter Fonda in the first Nick Cage Ghost Rider. That is
He did.
true. However, the chick with the spiky hair and the bubble bath for clothes, I think, takes it for me personally.
Chick with a bubble bath.
Yeah, when Gozer shows up, she's wearing that filmy shit.
Oh yeah, yeah. But which one? The '80s version or who was that did the newer version? I can't remember her name.
I have no idea. I didn't watch the new movies. So,
Hold on, it's somebody famous. It's not a because the original goes. I think she was a European dancer or something like that.
mhm, yeah. Yeah, I'm not 100% certain. I actually am only peripherally aware that Gozer was even in the new movies because, like I said, I hadn't watched them. I just heard about them a little bit. So, um,
Yeah, it's so the original was Slavica Jovan, and that was the original Ghostbusters. And then for Ghostbusters Afterlife, and no wonder because it was an uncredited role, but it was Olivia Wilde.
Huh. I'm interesting. Okay. She's kind of hit or miss. I mean, being hot is nice, but it's not like always enough, especially given that they always give her like really serious roles. So, um, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that.
Apparently, there's
So,
three versions of her. There was a it says Spirit Form, Ghostbusters Afterlife, Emma Portner. Okay.
yeah, I don't know who that is.
How
So,
many
I don't
people
know.
did they? Okay. Then they've got two separate voice actresses for the voice. All that work just for one creature.
Well, yeah, but I mean, Gozer is essentially what my online persona, purports to be. Gozer is not really a she. Gozer is an it. Gozer is an extra dimensional god who goes from world to world destroying shit. So Gozer could look pretty much like Gozer wants.
It just what happens here. Goes chooses to be a athletic looking female.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Dan Aykroyd did write that first movie.
Yeah. Hey, for the flat top.
Yeah. So I don't know, man, but yeah, as far as Mephisto goes, he's only really had outside of like I think maybe the Doctor Strange cartoon in the '90s. He's really only appeared once, like on screen, and it was played by Peter Fonda in the Nick Cage Ghost Rider movie, and didn't really have a whole lot in common with how he's drawn in the comic books at all. He just looked like Peter Fonda in a long black coat with a cane.
Yeah, he's had a variety of crazy looks.
Mhm.
In fact,
Yeah, but it's
it's
always with that spiky ass black hair. So yeah.
hold on, let me see.
So as a matter of fact, I
Finally,
think
my
even
throat. Sorry about that.
his son Blackheart actually got more
Blackheart.
screen time in that movie than he did.
Yeah, he did. In fact, I mean, really,
You
Blackheart
know,
was the main villain.
yeah, and even then he didn't look anything like he does in the comics. So
Yeah, people as Blackheart looks like a mutated. He looks like a oh man, what would you say? Would you say like
if Cthulhu's tentacles came out the back of his head instead of the front of it, that's Blackheart. So he's got like tentacle hair and he's like all inky skinned and he's got
look
big
they
ass claws for fingers.
look I just not realized that they put a halo around this fool's head.
Yep.
But that funny thing is that's not his worst look. I mean shoot well, that that was not nice. But
No.
they've definitely drawn him. It's like you said he always has the spiky hair, but I think depending on who draws him, they give him a more animalistic and evil look. Like that.
Right. Yeah, you're right. I mean, a lot of it is up to artist interpretation, but there are certain things that are, pretty common throughout, like the red skin, the wild hair, that kind of thing. And because this whole shtick is, look, I'm Satan, so I'm going to be like a representation that you're going to immediately think Satan, right? And for all intents and purposes, he really is Marvel's version of Satan. The
Yeah,
actual
he is.
devil Lucifer doesn't really exist in the Marvel universe. Does in the DC universe, but not so much in the Marvel universe. So.
And I'm trying to
Yeah.
find his human
Let
form.
me know if I'm roboting, guys. I just fritzed out for a minute.
Did you? I couldn't tell.
Oh, okay. Good. Good. But yeah, he's an interesting guy. He can do pretty much anything in his own realm, but he kind of requires part of the reason he does the deals, from what I understand, is that he sort of requires an agent in other dimensions to sort of do things for him. If I remember, I mean, to a degree, like it's sort of like talking to a jinn, right? A jinn can't, or a genie rather. Let's say genie, not jinn.
Mhm.
A genie can do pretty much anything, but it has to be the conditions have to be right. They have to be asked first, kind of thing, right? So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Somebody has to wish. Somebody
yeah,
has to
because Mephisto
give a
was
wish.
responsible for that Spider-Man bullshit with Brand New Day, where they reset everything and fucking, all of a sudden Peter and Mary Jane don't know each other and shit, even though they
Yeah,
were married like the day before and all that shit. Like all of that bullshit, which by the way was a terrible fucking storyline. But Mephisto was at the heart of that,
yeah.
and he basically rewrote the memories of everybody in the. You know, did you watch the last Spider-Man movie?
I did,
No
and
Way
that's
Home.
and that was the first thing I thought of too. Sam.
Yeah, sorry, I did it again.
Yeah, but yeah, no, that was the first thing I thought of. I was just like, yeah, that movie was a play on what happened.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah, they just had Doctor Strange do what Mephisto did,
Yeah,
you know. So,
and it was still stupid.
yeah. Yes. Yes, it was. Uh just for a second, guys. Just for a second. I'm back. It's fine. We're good
S-
for now.
Side note, I haven't watched it yet, but this person sent me something. He this person has taken aim at Shadow.
I
He
mean,
sent me
get in
something. I
line.
was out. Yeah, I was at work, so I tried to load it up and watch it, and I couldn't because my office is the building that my office is in is old, and so it's like my office is completely almost completely covered by metal.
Ah,
So I have to like stand in a certain spot, and I was like, oh man, okay, I'm not gonna be able to watch this yet.
yeah. Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, he's going after Shadow, like get in line, you and everybody else on the internet who knows who he is. That kid takes a lot of shit. So, but other than that, man, I mean, if you have more information about Mephisto, that'd be great because we pretty much reached the limit of mine because he was a villain for characters I didn't really read much about.
Well, it just happens that we're in luck. I mean, we're getting into it, so we'll just get into it. There's no need to wait. There's no need to wait for Devil because I mean this is basically him. It's either his cousin or it's him. So I mean Devil would just be learning about himself. So we don't have to wait for him. Um, but no, I mean it's like you said. He's an extra dimensional demon who rules a fiery pocket dimension that he calls Hell or Hades. So yeah, that seals it. He is Marvel's version of Satan, right?
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah.
So the Olympic god of what? So although it is neither the hell of the Christian religion nor the Hades ruled by Hades, the Olympian god of the dead, right? All right. So but this goes back to the discussion that we were saying that, he takes his nod from Satan of the Christian faith. He mimics him with the deals and
Hmm.
and and I actually watched a video on him earlier, and his main thing is getting his hands on souls, as many souls as he can get. That's really his true. That's his that's his nirvana, so to speak.
Yeah. So, but I mean, his dimension isn't even really like a full dimension, though, either, is it? It's like a pocket dimension.
There's a pocket.
Yeah. So it's not like it's got tons and tons of worlds in it and shit like the 616 does. It's just basically his home turf, and that's about it. Very limited area.
Yeah, where he does
Yeah.
whatever it is he does to people.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, he maintains absolute power over that area, but that's pretty much his whole sphere of influence, unless he's invited to take part on other planes of existence. I think.
Yeah. Let's see. It says here he allows. It's like we say he allows people to believe he's Satan, but he is not Lucifer.
Yeah.
Right. and his domain is inhabited by him and lesser demons and astral forms of certain deceased human beings, probably people whose souls he's taken.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
a
but you
there's a
don't just go to Mephisto. Sorry, you don't just go to Mephisto's realm when you die if you were a bad person. You only go
no,
there if you sold yourself to him
right,
directly.
right. I've actually so there's a video game. I mean, it's old. It's old as hell now. But there's a video game where you actually have to go to Mephisto's realm. Because I think you have to. It's a Marvel Ultimate Alliance. I think you have to rescue Ghost Rider, if I'm not mistaken. But
Uh, yeah, that was a short level, but yeah, I think I remember what you're talking about.
that
It might have
level,
been in the second one.
no, it was the first one. It was the first one because this the second one I never played. Um, and from what I understanding, the second one wasn't as good. But that level was a pain in the butt
Yeah.
because you could get possessed, and almost every enemy that you face had the ability to possess you. So I was always getting body swapped.
That's why you have 4 characters in your party you can swap between, just in case.
Yeah.
um, I played the first 2, and they're both really solid games, actually. I never played the third one though, so. But yeah, that sounds like it fits more in with the first one though, because they did all kinds of like weird shit in that one, and a lot of like really fun. There's a hidden level when you're going up against arcade where you play as Captain America, but you're in like, you remember that old NES game Super Pitfall?
Yeah, I've yeah. You walk over to the little to the arcade game and you play Pitfall. Yeah, I remember it.
Yeah, yeah, but as Captain America, I don't know. I thought that was a nice touch, but anyway, um, as to the man himself, like I said, I'm at a bit of a loss. So, you know,
This is a good question. I haven't spoken to Shadow in a while.
he's active as hell on Twitter every morning, starting at 4 o'clock my time. So
4
he's
a.m.
still around. He just hasn't. Well, it's 5 a.m. his time, I think. But yeah, that's when he gets up, and then he immediately starts tweeting and shit. So, you know, in between his workouts, I guess. I don't know.
Now that I think about it, that is so that is him popping up in the chats early in the morning. So I begin. I'm
Hmm.
like, who the hell is tweeting right now?
Yeah. Yep. Dude, Suka, he doesn't just retweet. The kid is like, I've got him muted. I've had him muted for a fucking week because I don't want to see every damn reply he sends to my way, because he's got this thing about having the last word. So no matter what it is, doesn't matter what the topic is. Hey, devil.
We're talking about the joys, the life and times of our good young friend Shadow.
Oh,
We're also talking about your cousin right here, or you.
Mephisto or whatever his name is.
Yep, from Marvel. This is the spotlight for the next battle. So we're doing it's gonna be Mephisto versus Gozer, and I figured tonight we'd do a spotlight on Mephisto, one of your many forms.
Hmm.
Yeah. Fun fact. Mephisto is a shortening of the name Mephistopheles, which
Yep.
was the name of the devil in the novel Dr. Faustus.
I know what I went by. Shit.
Yeah. So, but it's the only time. It's funny because a lot of people take Mephistopheles as being like, oh, it's definitely one of the names of the devil. No, it was only used in a fictional novel that was published in the 1500s. So, So
Can't
about a
speak of
guy who
that.
sells his soul to the devil.
Yeah. The play in Tombstone is that play.
Yeah, Faust.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, Faust. And look at his power grid. Everything's 7 except for fighting skills. So see, he's not a physical fighter
No.
versus Gozer who is.
Yeah. He doesn't have
But
to be though, generally.
Yeah.
no, I mean he's got magical abilities. That's what's gonna make the matchup, interesting.
Yeah.
And it's not like he's not strong. I mean, hell, look, he can lift in excess of 100 tons, which I'd expect from an extra dimensional being. Super speed, super stamina, invulnerability, immortality, regeneration, magic, dream walking. I mean, look at all this. Hellfire breath. He's just not brushing his teeth or using mouthwash probably. I've known a few girls that I wasn't dating them, but man, I came across them in the morning and they damn sure had hellfire breath.
Yeah, yeah. Uh Ardent Party, thanks for stopping by and hanging out with us, man. Have a great night.
Yeah, thanks for coming through, Arden.
Yep.
Illusions, look, matter manipulation. This is gonna be interesting for a guy. Who's a level 2 in fighting skills. But as you said, you can do all that stuff. You don't have to. You don't have to do what Dormammu did, which is resort to hand combat
Right.
and lose to a guy who has problems with his hands.
Well, generally speaking, what happens with Mephisto, as I understand it, is that he just offers the other party something they want. That's how he wins.
Well, the thing is, Gozar, I don't really. The only thing Gozar wants is, I think,
Eat worlds.
to conquer and stuff. So he would be giving up what he wants. I mean, otherwise, why would he be there? Trying. I don't know. He wants the souls or something like that, right? I'm not 100% sure with his lore.
I think Gozer just wants to just tear stuff up.
Yeah. Yeah, Gozer is a force of like universe destruction kind of thing. But I think that it's like if I like obviously we're kind of jumping the gun a little bit on the actual matchup and all that stuff. But if it were me, if I were in Mephisto's place, I would grant Gozer keys to otherwise inaccessible worlds on the condition that the souls of the destroyed.
He's been roboting and going in and out a little bit.
Just
There you go.
damn it.
We can hear you.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'll save it for the actual thing. But
No, go ahead and finish your point.
you know, I just think that if I were Mephisto and Gozer, wants to blow shit up, I would say here's some worlds you can't normally get access to. I will grant you access as long as the souls come to me.
Gozar
That's
I
would
what
don't
you
be
think
call it.
I don't think Gozer's all that interested in the afterlife.
Yeah, but is Gozer going to give up his soul if he has one to Mephisto?
yeah, I don't know. This is a weird one because their intentions and I don't know if you can like negotiate with Gozar. Like, is it even capable or wanting to make a deal, or would it just attack right off the bat because that's what it kind of does? I don't know. One of them seems like a slick car dealer, used car dealer, and the other one seems like I don't really need to communicate, just destroy. I don't know. I mean, you have to have somebody who has a want to make a deal to make a deal. Uh,
Well,
mhm.
here's a quick here's here's it may possibly be a advocate to that. Whenever Ray Stans confronts Gozer, what does Gozer say? are you a god? Right? Mephisto is dang sure gonna say yes, whether he's a god or not, and he has the power to make Gozer think he is. So what happens if he says yes?
I think the fight's gonna come down to, or maybe not come down to it, but a lot of it's gonna be done by their familiars. They're kind of, you have the dogs, obviously, the demon dogs, for Gozar, but Mephisto can literally make Ghost Riders.
Yeah, and he's got Blackheart.
So you're talking about, and from what I remember, I don't think there's some rule that says there can only be one Ghost Rider. He can make multiple. So yeah, I mean, if one Blaze is that hard to deal with, imagine if he made 100.
Well, and that's the thing is
mm,
the demon that Johnny Blaze is bonded with is older and far more powerful than Mephisto himself. He got tricked into being in his service, but if he were free, he would be able to annihilate Mephisto with a look. And he's at Mephisto's beck and call because he's bound to him.
yeah. But if he could create other riders using other spirits or whatever, uh, he could have an army that would be easily be able to take those two dogs. Not to mention Gozar. So I don't know, especially the pin and stare. If he got that on Gozar, because it's not necessarily that you need a soul to be susceptible to the pin and stare. It just gives you all the pain and suffering you've caused. Gozar's created a lot of suffering and stuff over the millennia. Uh, if he got a hold of him with that, wouldn't that, or it, whatever the hell it's supposed to be?
Well, that depends. So the penance stare is entirely dependent on whether or not you think you did anything wrong, right? The Punisher has withstood it because he felt he was not, in the wrong at all. So is the Hulk.
And let's not forget the Ghost Rider movie when he tried to use it on Blackheart, and Blackheart was like, "I have no soul to burn."
That's true.
Yeah.
In fact,
Well,
actually, if we're gonna get into it, then I mean, look, we've got the show is still early. We might as well get into it right now with both of them.
Fair enough. I'm good with that.
What were you gonna say, Devil?
like I said, that's cool.
Well, there's your.
Are you a god?
That is the most unsexy voice ever. Like
Dude,
that makes the boner shrink.
Die. What's really funny? So years ago, on this old flip phone I had, one of my ringtones was the bit where oh fuck, now I can't, where Winston says to Ray, he goes, "Ray, when someone asks you if you're a god, you say yes." That was like one of my ringtones for years.
Hey, if you watch, I don't know if you've seen Afterlife, but the same thing happens again, and they all the other ghosts, they all look at him, and you can hear Winston under his breath. He's like, "Come on, Ray, don't f this up."
Yeah.
He's like, "Come on, dude, don't do that." It was just funny. Everybody just stopped and just turned and just looked at it, like,
Right.
This fool's gonna do it again." He's like, "Yes, well, maybe," or something like that. I can't remember, but no, this is an interesting match because it's like you said. What drives Gozer, also known by her alternate title of Gozer the Gozerian, is the main antagonist of Columbia. Yeah, blah blah blah. So Gozer is an ancient, malignant, godlike entity that was worshipped throughout history by the Hittites, Mesopotamians, and Sumerians around 6000 BC, as well as the cult of Gozer. Now, here's my question: is Mephisto worshipped by anybody?
Officially, I don't think so. But I'm not sure. So I don't know. That's an interesting question, and I think I don't even know if that's necessarily relevant aside from the worshippers, of course, being key to opening the door that lets Gozer come into the world.
Let's see. I mean, look, Gozer's got this cult. Also has a legion of evil spirits, and apparently the
I see.
gatekeeper and the keymaster, which is Zool and the other and the gatekeeper or the keymaster, I should say. So apparently they're demigods,
Well, there's Zool and there's Vince Clortho.
right?
Yeah. So, but all they're interested in doing is letting Gozer in to destroy everything while they eat and fuck.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. And let's face it, Sigourney Weaver never looked sexier.
Yeah.
Look at
Yeah.
Devil's face.
By contrast, while I love Rick Moranis, I think he's a fantastic and hilarious performer. Not so sexy.
No. And Ghostbusters came out when I was a child, and I remember when I was in a theater, and the only thing I could think of was really with him.
That's the only way he was going to get some.
Right? Especially
Kelly.
from a woman twice as tall as him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man. But I mean, I would doubt that those two are Gozer's only servants. They're just like the ranking, like high priest rank, I guess.
Yeah, they're Gozer's harbingers.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if they're the high priests, they're essentially dogs. They would be no match for freaking a Ghost Rider or some. I mean, yeah, I think
Well,
if that's supposed to be the high level of her, warriors, as it would be, that's pretty low comparative.
Well, yeah, I think you're right, but I think in the case of Gozer, like obviously with Mephisto, he's got extremely powerful minions and the ability to create more and all that stuff. But Gozer's power lies with Gozer, right? Gozer is the one who has the power in a situation. The Hellhounds or whatever are really just there to direct worship and open the gate.
But that's
their sole function.
But that exactly that's what I'm saying is Mephisto wouldn't even have to lift a hand until she was already or it was already subdued. Like I said, Ghost Rider could take out the two of those animals just by itself, but then, like I said, he can create other entities, and like I said, it's just I could see them taking her down and her being chained as he's walking in, going, "Yeah, that was an easy enough fight," type situation. It just, I mean, if you're gonna take them out of the fight and say it's just fist on fist, that's a different scenario. But when you, like I said, you're sitting there talking about him making a deal, trying to get out of a fight. It just seems more easy for him to just create more entities that would fight for him than
Sure. But given that he has also ensnared, what is the name of the demon in Ghost Rider? It's Zarathos or something like that.
I can't remember.
Ensnared this immensely powerful entity into his service, right? Why would he waste the opportunity to not attempt to do that with Gozer as well?
yeah.
Well, maybe that's what he'd do after she's subdued or it's subdued. God, I'm just gonna call her she because I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
After she's subdued, he could very well do that. Say, look, you're gonna be demolished. I'm gonna have my minions rip you apart piece by piece, or you can serve me and then make her into just like Ghost Rider, just a empty demon's shell or whatever they could use to make another one.
No. course, Gozer can also, like Old Blind is saying in the chat, Gozer can also bring destructive beings of immense power into existence too. Witness the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Obviously, that was a
But
goofy ass thing that they threw in, and
but
they were able to destroy it because he was made of marshmallows.
oh, wait a minute. But the staple of Marshmallow Man was Gozer. Remember, because Ray effed up because he said Gozer said choose the form of the destructor, and then when Ray thought of the staple of Marshmallow Man, then Gozer said prepare your. He was like prepare yourself that the traveler has come, and then it showed up as a staple of Marshmallow Man.
Yeah. Which honestly, I think was only defeated because he was made of marshmallows. If he
Yeah.
had been, something else,
Well, you know how they got
my
him.
shit froze again. God damn
Yeah.
it.
Well, we got you. Remember they had to shoot the temple. They had to blast the temple and cross the streams. That's how they got him. I mean, now by then, of course, he was on fire. Like you said, he was made of marshmallow. But Gozer didn't seem to. He didn't. It didn't stop him, and he didn't really. All it seemed to do was just piss him off. But it wasn't until
Mhm.
they started shooting at the temple that Gozer walked out of. Then you could start. Then you could see the fear in its face. Like, oh crap, they're they're shooting the temple. That's my damn weak point.
And you're
Right. Well,
also
I think in Gozer's case, so Gozer extend.
Sam,
Yeah,
Sammy,
give it a second. I have to fucking fix something.
what were you
um
gonna say? Double while he's fixing.
it also depends if was she giving Ray the option or them the option to decide their destroyer, or is that part of it? She has to have somebody uh participate, because that's not saying that they would participate. One, the Ghost Riders probably wouldn't really be thinking about that. They're uh but same thing with Mephisto. You're talking about not simple. I don't want to say simple minded, but Ray comparative to beings that aren't of this world and stuff. Would they play along and choose their destroyer? I don't know. We'd have to have the lore if that's part of it, that where they have to choose it, or can she choose and make up a entity of her choosing?
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if Gozer just liked making people choose the form of their destroyer because that's kind of messed up. you know,
Yeah, that's a
it,
dick
would-
move. It is.
it wouldn't surprise me if that was in fact the case, but it also wouldn't surprise me. Gozer is essentially a cosmic horror entity, and they do have to play by rules.
Yeah,
You know, so I don't
that's
know. I could go either way on that.
that's kind of a fun way to do it, though. Like, I mean, if Gozar asked you choose the form of the destroyer, I mean, I'm being taken
Right.
out by a big titty anime girl. I'm just saying.
Well,
Like you get
Pothome
to.
Pothome Lighthouse has an interesting point. It says she had to have someone participate, but she doesn't really care who nor how. That doesn't necessarily mean, like, if the Ghostbusters were able to clear their minds, that doesn't mean everybody in the vicinity would have been able to.
That's very true.
Yeah, she just gave them the choice because they confronted her, and then they
Yeah.
shot at her. You know what I mean? Let's see. Just check out the personality. Gozer is an extremely powerful, cunning, and ruthless entity who intends to destroy the whole universe and bring humanity to extinction. She is depicted as a malevolent, sadistic, and dangerous being. Though this was eventually what led to her defeat in 1984 and 2021, thanks to the Ghostbusters and their allies foiling her plans. While she treats her minions Zool and Vince Cortho fine, it's likely she just cares for them due to helping her to destroy the universe. So, um, when you look at their goals, I think that's the point that puts Gozer and Mephisto against each other. Because, like you said, Gozer just wants to go around destroying anything. Nothing about Gozer's personality says that she's interested in collecting souls. if she's killing everybody and destroying everything just for the sake of doing it. Now Mephisto's like, well, damn, I can't. I'm trying to get these souls full. What are you doing? I'm trying to make packs. Like you're ruining my fun. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think that would be the catalyst of those two fighting. And honestly, I think Devil. I think what you said. I think Mephisto would be like, yeah, it's Ghost Rider time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that to battle all of the ghosts and things that you know fly around and kind of build up. And I think Mephisto would invest into an army of Ghost Riders, and I think he'd have Blackheart leading the charge while he sits back and weaves his magic or does whatever he can. But I don't think that Mephisto would engage into a hand-to-hand combat with Gozer. I think he's too smart for that. I think he's smarter than Dormammu. Because
Yeah.
truth be told, hmm?
Dormammu is less a malevolent entity and more a force of chaos. It's sentient to a degree, but it's not like what you'd call a master planner.
Or Dormammu, he's a being, but the bigger threat when you're talking about him, the bigger threat was his sister. His sister raped the Hulk for goodness sake.
Yeah, I didn't read that. That sounds like some modern bullshit.
I mean, I was shocked too when I read that, but between Dormammu and his sister, the sister's always been the smarter of the two and the more dangerous.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think the Ghost Rider thing probably is a pretty big advantage. But like this thing is saying here, the you're only seeing a part of Gozer. Gozer has not isn't fully entering the reality. Gozer's sort of sticking his hand through and waving it around, smashing shit.
Which is also kind of lame because like if you're this super powerful cosmic entity and you get to take a form, would you take a chicken bubble bikini? Like it just
I
I
mean,
don't know.
maybe I would.
I don't know. I'd say something a little more impressive, but it's just me.
I was impressed.
You walk out looking like Sauron with his armor on. Yeah. Honestly, if it was me, I wouldn't show up looking like a chick. I'd show up looking as intimidating as possible. Like if I'm aware of as powerful as I am, I'd want people to look at me and know, oh crap, because there's no need for pretenses at that point.
Mm.
So
Yeah,
I
I
don't know.
suppose.
Maybe goes as a cross dresser. I don't care.
Yeah, I
Now,
suppose. I don't know. It seems to me that the motivations of Gozer weren't entirely known. So who knows? Who knows exactly what it was up to?
right
You
now,
know.
now, here's where we get into the weakness. Gozer does have limitations and weaknesses, as few as they may be. Primarily, the Gozerian temple atop the Shandor apartment building was her means of entering Earth's dimension. In fact, by the time the Ghostbusters crossed the streams, Gozer still had not fully entered our world and must therefore create a form chosen by man as an irony. So Blindy was right. She had they had to choose a form. She needed participation because she couldn't get all the way in. Because of her limited time on Earth, Gozer's true power is unknown. Had the Ghostbusters delayed, Gozer might have become too powerful for total protronic reversal to stop her. This remains pure conjecture and speculation. Thankfully, the Ghostbusters did destroy the temple and banish Gozer back to her own universe. During her second coming, she had no porters to transport herself fully, so in her new but still Stay Puft form, she was relatively weak and required a lot more power to absorb to become the true being she is supposed to be. Because of that, the Ghostbusters managed to finally destroy her.
Hmm. Yeah, that's it,
This is
I
this
won't-
this is Gozer's. You can't read the writing on there, but that's in the comics. I guess that's her true form.
no. Yeah, this is echoes of Lovecraft, and I know I bring that shit up a lot, but the dude, the guy has influenced every inch of pop culture. So, you know, um, but Nyarlathotep does much the same thing. He projects a part of himself into the world to get people to, you know, do his bidding and essentially collect the blood of like innocent sacrifices and stuff, because that blood is what gives his present form, which is not his true form. His true form's off in the void on the other side of the gate, and in a wholly other, you know, different existence. Um, but his projection, it gives it solidity
Hmm.
in the real world and all that stuff. So it's possible that Gozer can't fully enter a dimension.
Right, another Marvel entity that Shumagorath.
Hmm.
Shumagorath can't. It's most powerful in its own dimension. So when it breaks into Earth with 616 or any of the other realms, um, it shows up as a giant eye with tentacles, but you're only seeing less than a fraction of its full power.
Yeah. If I'm not
It-
mistaken, Shumagorath is based very, very loosely on Yog-Sothoth.
yeah, let's switch over to back to Mephisto right quick. So I want to read his weaknesses. It says, Despite his immense power, Mephisto does have several significant limitations. He is unable to force the subjugation of any sentient being's will to his own without that being deliberate submission. So I mean, trying to Gozer's not bound down to him. I think we both know that, and we all three of us, I think we know that. Likewise, he cannot make the same kind of deal with the same person he has done before. Moreover, Mephisto cannot directly affect beings from other realities, as he cannot harm the Norman Osborn from Earth 44145 by claiming he was outside of his jurisdiction. He is also incapable of reading the thoughts of any sentient being. Mephisto's powers are linked with his extra dimensional realm, and his powers rapidly decrease the longer he is away from his realm. As a result, he typically manipulates others into performing whatever plan he has in mind. So, Devil, your guess as his course of action is a correct one. Also, despite continuously trying to get any noble soul to his realm and possession, he must need to corrupt them first, or otherwise he himself would be, ironically, injured in the process. In fact, in the event that Mephisto is usurped from his position, incapacitated, or even destroyed to the point of being unable to reestablish, all his mystical actions, including his deals with other victims, begin to crumble and fall apart. This also seems to apply to their victims, as their agreements will also lose effect and break if their deaths were not predetermined in terms of the pact they established with Mephisto. So, as strong as he is, those are some pretty significant weaknesses.
No.
And it's starting to look to me like Gozer has the edge. Versus, I mean, 5 minutes ago, up until this point, I thought Mephisto would take it almost hands down, but now I'm starting to wonder.
Well, there's so many variables that would have to be considered. One, if those are the longer they're in our world, the stronger they get. Well, how quick does the fight happen when they enter? Uh, I don't know. Like I said, right now. I can't really determine who would be the winner. But like I said, if I just think if they're able to bring any kind of other people into it, I just think that Mephisto wins hands down there.
Yeah, I suppose. It's certainly a possibility.
I mean, Ghost Rider has went toe to toe with freaking the Hulk. Do you think either of those dog creatures equal a Hulk?
Hell no.
So I don't know.
No, but Gozer itself might. So
So,
I don't know. I don't know.
well, let's do this because I'm not sure either. Dude, let's ask OpenAI AI.
They're just gonna start fucking.
Let's see. Oh man, it's giving a list of all his powers. Mephisto versus Gozer the Gozerian is a fun and unexpected battle between two supernatural, reality warping entities from very different universes. Let's break it down based on power, durability, intelligence, and feats. Mephisto, Hell Lord, demon, extra dimensional being. Powers, abilities, immense reality warping powers, especially in his own realm. Virtually immortal, can manipulate time, souls, and matter. Vast magical powers comparable to beings like Dormammu at times. Frequently fights or manipulates characters like the Silver Surfer, Doctor Strange, and even Thanos. Can trap or devour souls. Weakness. Powers greatly diminished outside his own hell dimension. And you have Gozer the Gozerian. Right? Interdimensional Sumerian god. Reality manipulation, summoning Stay Puft, etc., etc. Shapeshifting, near omniscience when fully manifested, can destroy entire civilizations, did so in the past. Summons powerful avatars, Vin's Clortho and Zul. Weaknesses can be banished or sealed with sufficient spiritual mystical tech. Battle analysis. What? It's saying Mephisto wins. Raw power, Mephisto massive, goals are high, city world ending, massive cosmic level. Durability, immortal, regenerated soul base. Semi corporal, banishable. Versatility, extremely versatile management magic. Goals are mostly destruction and form shifting. Combat experience, fights gods and cosmic beings. Destroys civilizations, not a tactical fighter. I don't know about that. I mean, Mephisto. I guess Mephisto is the more tactical of the two. Goldr's more straightforward.
Yeah, she's just gonna go in and start wrecking his shit, man.
Yeah. Mephisto, winner. Why? While Gozer is terrifying and powerful in the Ghostbusters universe, Mephisto exists on a much higher cosmic scale. He regularly engages with top tier Marvel characters, manipulates time, reality, and souls, and is effectively unkillable in his own realm. Gozer might be able to hold his own briefly, especially in our dimension, but Mephisto's scope of influence, magical abilities, and intellect far outweigh Gozer's. That said, Gozer's style is unmatched. Marshmallow Mephisto, now that's a horror comedy crossover worth watching. So it just sounds to me like ChatGPT thinks that Mephisto would out magic and out think him.
Pretty hard to outthink a bulldozer.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
This one's a toss up. It really is. It really is because we don't know the full extent. We know Gozer's methods and we know her limitations. What doesn't help is the fact that ordinary humans with with battery packs on their back have defeated her twice.
Yes. So here's where I think devil's right. This is one of those ones where it really depends on the specific variables of the confrontation, right? Are we putting both of them in a room at full power? Because if that's the case, Gozer's just gonna fucking eat Mephisto. But if we're doing like a cross dimensional, like they all hands on deck, they have all of their minions and abilities and whatnot spread across their you know respective realms or whatever, then it's possible that Mephisto wins the day just by being craftier.
I honestly, I think if those two I think if they went head to head, I think it would be like Lord of the Rings level combat, man. I don't think it would just be the two of them. I think they would bring every minion power that they've got. I think Gozer would hit Mephisto. Gozer's not totally stupid. Gozer would get an idea. Hey, this isn't this is to it. Mephisto is a god, and I think it will come at him full force, and that's where the danger is because we don't know the upper limits of Gozer's powers. We just know that the Ghostbusters were able to drive her back because she needs time to manifest outside of her own dimension. Same universe, Mephisto, he can leave his dimension, but he starts losing. He loses a lot of power off the bat and starts losing power quickly. So it's gonna it's gonna come down. It's gonna come down to their minions. It really is, and whether or not Mephisto can trick Gozer into coming into his realm or vice versa.
Yeah. It's
And,
like it's
and honestly,
interesting.
and I think if it comes down to that, I think that Mephisto's gonna outsmart Gozer and lure him in, and that's where Gozer's gonna start having problems.
Yeah. Well, it's also interesting that you mentioned like Gozer fights gods on the regular, right? And wins. Um, so does Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
By his onesie. Like you don't really need an army of them.
No. So I mean, if we're gonna look at that,
I mean, the only exception to that I can think of was Death Battle put out a video about 2 months ago where Ghost Rider fought Spawn and lost. But their power set are extremely similar too.
I don't know. That one's pretty hard. I think Ghost Rider would have it though.
yep, Ariel, that Gozer the Gozerian.
Yep. So,
I don't know.
honestly, I want to give it to Gozer myself just because I think Mephisto's a fucking prick, but I don't think that'd be fair. So,
Well, Gozer's a prick too. I mean, shoot, choose the form of the destructor.
yeah, but Gozer's straightforward about what her intentions are. Mephisto's like a sneaky dick. I don't like sneaky dicks.
Yeah, he's the kind of dick you
Yeah.
put the condom on.
Sam doesn't like when dicks sneak. He likes them coming straight at him hard.
I mean, would you rather see it coming rather than be surprised by one?
I mean, you're gonna jump if you get surprised. You're gonna jump. I'd rather see it coming and roll out of the way. Um. Okay, I think I have an answer for myself. I think Mephisto will win. And the only reason why I think he'll win is I think that he will outsmart Gozer. I don't think it'll come down to who's the most powerful. I think it'll come down to who's the smartest and the tools at their disposal. And I think that's what gives him the edge. He wouldn't give Gozer the chance to fully power up. He's not stupid enough to go to whatever realm Gozer's in. So Gozer can forget that off the bat. And as soon as he tries to manifest somewhere, the Ghost Rider will be waiting for him. I don't even think that Mephisto would try to go at him directly unless he absolutely had no choice, or if he was like if he managed to get him into his dimension where he has the best advantage for him.
So if we apply the Batman equation, I think Mephisto takes it, right? If he gets prep time, he wins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, if he gets caught off guard, now that's a different story.
No, he's fucking toast.
Yeah.
I
Gozer
think
will
in
literally
terms of like actual sheer power, Gozer takes it. Yeah. But yeah, so which again is a problem because that depends on the variable. Does Mephisto see him coming or not? Does see Gozer coming or not?
right.
Well, if Mephisto if he's as smart as he kind of plays out to be, you think he would be aware of a threat at that level.
Right.
Other gods, other cosmic entities, whatever you classify it as, you think he'd be aware and he'd be, thinking if this ever becomes a thing, this is how I'll deal with it.
That's a fair point. Again, Batman logic.
Yeah.
Dude's got a contingency plan for every single member of the Justice League if they go bad, including himself.
Right. All right. So I guess I'll go around the table and ask you both. Who's your Sam? Who's your choice?
Well, Devil brings up a good point with this last one. Mephisto's probably keeping tabs on other entities that could be a threat to his domain or his power. So if that is the case, and we're assuming that it is for this, then he likely has a contingency in place for Gozer. And if that's the case, I think with prep time, I think Mephisto takes it, unfortunately.
I'm in agreement. Devil.
I think if it's the fight on the terms that we've kind of figured out, Mephisto, if it's who looks better in a bubble bikini, Gozer.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't want to see. I wouldn't want to see Mephisto in a bikini. Well, I mean, you look at him now. He doesn't wear enough clothing as it is.
I mean, he quite frequently wears a black man thong. You just don't see the back because he's got a cape too.
Yeah, I don't want to see it.
Things that make you go, "Ugh."
Nasty punk. So Mephisto is the winner of this round, and I admit, I would prefer Gozer, but I agree. Mephisto very likely is keeping tabs on potential threats, and probably already has a contingency, in place for someone like Gozer. But yeah, if he didn't know Gozer, if he didn't know what he was dealing with, he'd be toast. He'd get caught off guard. He could forget summoning a ghost rider, try to make you one on the spot. Gozer wouldn't give him the chance.
Yeah. So I don't know. Prep time can only do so much if a being has too much sheer power. So I would agree with you, Ariel, except that Batman beat Darkseid that way. So, like twice. So, yeah. I don't know. I think that probably that's fair enough. Yeah. I'll give
Okay.
it to Mephisto.
All right. So, folks, the winner of this round and taking the second to last spot on our list is Mephisto. Now, moving on. Gozer will always be the winner in my heart, though. Yeah.
So Aaron Laura likes bubble bikinis. We've established.
Yeah. Aaron Laura's into spiky haired Eastern European chicks confirmed.
She's all lesbians and bubble bikinis. That's my thing.
All right. Now, moving on. And this is an advertisement. I'm sure you guys see that I have a new logo. Now the other one, the crow one, I'm gonna keep that one. I'm still gonna use it. What you guys are seeing, this is for my Knights Lore channel. This was actually drawn by a YouTuber slash artist named Aaron, not Aaron, I almost said Aaron Laura, but Dreaming Tabitha. Dreaming Tabitha is just my opinion. She's good friends with Nomi, and Tabitha is very, very talented with what she does. I'm really happy with what she brought out, and I gave her full carte blanche to I just told her just a basic outline of what I wanted, and I just gave her free reign to come up with what she wanted because I'm just a big fan of her work. Um, but if you guys ever are inclined to hit her up and you want her to draw something, in fact, I'm gonna go on right now. I'm gonna look up her. Um, but if you're ever inclined to get, have something drawn, uh, you know, I'm gonna put her. I'm all over the place, but I'm gonna put her. This is her Facebook. I mean, not her Facebook, her YouTube channel. You can go on there. She's got links that goes to not just her Patreon, but she has a website that you guys can go on and you can look at some of her work, and you can email her directly and let her know what you want. And she's pretty responsive. She gets back to me within a day. Um, so, like I said, if you guys feel inclined to have some artwork done, uh, hit her up. She also does great content. Um, and just a fun person to check out. And we lost Sam. Anyway,
Mhm.
but no, I wanted to give her a plug, and just to publicly thank her. Um, now now we gotta wait for Sam to come back, because I wanted to talk to him about our little adventure, about our adventure, Devil, that we didn't get, didn't get to talk to him about because I couldn't talk last week.
Mhm. We've talked a couple times, mentioned it. Yeah, so Thick Thulu.
Thick Thulu. So a lot of I guess you guys probably don't. You're not aware of this. So uh, after Devil and I made that adventure, I went back into ChatGPT and I actually I signed up for it, or at least I found out I had signed up for it 2 years ago and forgotten I had. So I had an account, but I went on there and I created an ongoing choose your own adventure series, starring us, and I just gave it an initial framework, and ChatGPT created another great story. But the funny thing is how accurate, and we got Sam back. But I'm telling him about the choose your own adventure that I created for us, and I've been sending Sam like photos of like certain things that it would have him say. So it has him like it gave Sam has he drinks coffee, and he has like a coffee mug, and on the coffee mug it says tentacles and trouble.
Huh.
Tentacles and trouble. But I think my
Okay.
favorite. So here I'll see if I can share this on my screen. But here's something that I showed him. So after I did a couple of full on arcs, and then it started giving me the choice of, it was like, hey, do you want to do side missions? Do you want to have downtime? And it said like do like a day in the life of. So I did the day in the life of, because I've been have been fighting stuff for like a week. And then it was like, hey, do you want to do a solo mission? And it was like, do you want to do one with Lawrence Knight? Do you want to do one with Sam? Do you want to do one with Nomi or Amira or whoever? So I'm slowly adding every more people in. So I was like, okay, well, I'll choose Sam. And then it had me go somewhere, and I made a choice, and I wasn't really paying attention. I wasn't really paying attention um, to what I was doing, and as a result, I ended up facing this. So the day, so so now I've got this enemy named Samuel Prime. Samuel Prime versus Sam. Now keep in mind, I'm playing as Sam. I'm playing as Sam at this point. So the story has now copied him. It's giving him abilities that the Sam I created doesn't have. It copied what he had, twisted it, and then added new powers to it. Right. And the backstory behind this one, Devil, is in the story, Sam's character and my character work for Amira. But if you guys know Sam in real life, if you know him in real life, He's not somebody. He's he is the true embodiment of the term rebel with a cause. He is not somebody who takes a knee to anybody. And how ChatGPT got that part of his personality, it got it spot on. Samuel Prime is a part of him that when I guess there was some kind of cosmic battle that predates the story. And it was a prequel arc based off of a mirror. I didn't play it, and I should have, because now I'm realizing, and I realized that's where I messed up, because my gut was telling me to play that one, and I didn't. This Sam was a part of that cosmic war, and it was upset because the Sam that I was playing decided to go work for a mirror, and it was like, you bent the knee to this, you bent the knee to this woman, and I don't bend the knee to anybody. So that's why he's basically at war with himself.
Looks like Sam has
Yeah,
a new name he got changed to.
yeah. And at first I was gonna fight him, but then because I was looking at my options. Now the cool thing about this is it'll give you options, like it can say, "Hey, I want to do this," or "I want to do that," and see, it is not showing it's showing this is the results of the choice I made, which was to run back to a mirror. Yeah, I ran, and I'm glad I did, because when I went back and Sam told her what what walked out of the time warp, what walked out of the warp, and confronted him, she called all hands on deck. So like the whole team now has to go and fight it. And that's when I knew. I was like, if I had fought this version of him by myself, I probably would have died.
Yeah, it seems like the me that would eat a planet.
Yeah. So it gave me,
Yeah.
as I've been playing it all week, and it gave me the idea, Devil, to really push forward with what we discussed. And I thought about, I was like, you know what? As we know, I've been working on a choose your own adventure. It's been taking a lot of time. I've had setbacks. I've had to redo stuff, and I got to thinking about it. Why don't we could get everybody in the chat involved. We could pick a genre. We could pick, I've got, different types of examples to pull from, and we can actually put a choose your own adventure together. It can either be a ongoing series, or you can make it episodic, or whatever. But I mean, we could do something like with paranormal. I got a list: paranormal, horror, action, adventure, comedy, mystery, thriller, drama, fantasy, historical, melodrama, noir, science fiction, western. And then I started thinking, okay, well, what kind of ideas can we pull from movies? Ghostbusters, Mission Impossible, the Resident Evil video game, the Avengers, Lord of the Rings, James Bond 007 type of stuff. Hey, Friday the 13th. We can make something based off of Kohai, where she's like Jason. A Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, Hellraiser. I mean, you name it. Halo, Guilds of War, Star Trek, Star Wars, Predator, Aliens. Any of the Stephen King movies. I put Die Hard. There's a TV show called The Traders, which is basically like Wolf Among Us. I don't know if you guys ever watched it on Peacock. It's pretty damn good. Wolves Among Us, Devil, of course. Funny you say that, Event Horizon, because it's on the list, Ariel. Saw. I don't want to do that, but we can set the parameters. And what I was thinking is, next week, we can get everybody together. Come on, and you know, we can set the parameters, if Devil, if you and Sam are interested, and maybe the week after next or whatnot. My Little Pony.
That that would be very weird.
That's
and,
right
and
out.
yeah, and the funny thing is that ChatGPT will put it together. It'll do it together. I mean, look, just for fun, just for fun, I created a brand new D&D type of game, like a brand new tabletop. I just gave it some parameters. I just put what I wanted, and it created an entire system in less than 10 seconds, complete with character sheets. And that was my test for it. I was like, if it can do that, then we'll shoot. What else can we do? You know?
Yep.
And we can make and we especially if you open up and the account's free, it'll save each thing that you do, and you can actually create something, start a new chat, or start a new search, and then create something else. And you can even say, hey, like say we make something based off of Event Horizon, and then we start a new chat. We could say, I want to start an Aliens movie, but I also want to pull the parameters from Event Horizon, from my Event Horizon game, into it. It'll go back into the other chat, pull those parameters, and add it to the new adventure that you're creating. I know because I checked.
Yeah, possibly able. I'll talk to you about it later tonight.
Icon has invite. What's that?
I think Abe wants to come on next week.
Yeah, you sold
Yeah,
him
you're
with the
on.
He was sold with the My Little Pony thing.
Yeah, he's definitely down for the brony shit, dude. If you
Uh,
slap a green Power Ranger helmet on the Twilight Sparkle, he's all in.
Oh
well,
yeah.
and that's the other thing too. Power Rangers that can also we can. There's so much that we can do with this thing. Hey, Aaron, Laura, I don't know if you know this, but Amazon actually has a Lord of the Rings dice, and each dice has the one ring inside it.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
So,
I have a
but
I have a set of dice that's cursed. I don't use it. That's the only gaming dice I have that I bought for a guy was I got talked into start trying Warhammer years ago. The guy who talked me into that was supposed to do something for me and never held up his end of the bargain. But I did start out. But those dice, they're the worst. I don't use them for anything but fucking paperweights now.
hey, you know what? I'm gonna tell you something. Hey, I, those of you in the chat, don't laugh at him because I had a pair of cursed dice like that. I threw them damn things across the street. How many people? How many people out there could say that they've bought a pack of dice, and no matter, and I'm talking the 25 die, the 10 die, like an actual pack. Each one of those suckers, and I was in a game, I rolled ones consecutively 8 times in a row. Stopped using them, grabbed another set of dice, rolled them just fine, went back to the quote cursed dice, and continued to roll ones for another hour.
Yep. Yep.
There's some dice out there that, yeah, and I was pissed off because they were new dice. I had just bought them.
Yeah,
I
same here.
just bought them.
Same with mine. I do use them when I was still playing Magic the Gathering. I
Hey,
used them for counters, but that like I didn't use them for fucking anything that involved probabilities. I just think it's a skill issue.
yeah, that's why I said, hey, punk. Uh,
Yeah, I mean
oh,
that's
Blindy, it's
possible
funny you
too.
say that because in the game that I'm playing right now, Amira is so powerful that nobody will they won't even mess with her because cause the game made her that strong. They won't even mess with her. Nobody will mess with her. None of the other gods and entities I've been fighting, they won't even mess with her.
You know what my favorite part of this sheet that you have up on the screen is? I
Hmm.
bet you can guess what my very favorite thing on there is.
The beard.
No, actually, right below that, the aura. Because it's
That was my.
accurate as
Oh
fuck.
yeah, yeah. Here's why he's saying this, folks. Technology fails in his presence.
Because it does. It does.
You know what? And the funny thing is, I didn't notice it because I remember you pointed it out yesterday. I didn't notice that the whole game that as I've been playing all week. Sure enough, every time your character gets around electricity, around technology, something goes wrong with it. Every time, I damn near blew up a cathedral because you walked next to a power conductor. Damn cathedral almost blew up.
Yeah.
But as you're seeing this, you see how it'll even meanwhile in a black vault, and that's the other thing about Amira's character. This girl has like a mansion in like every dimension, pocket dimension. Like every time I have to meet back with her, she's in a different house, a different mansion. He's
Yeah.
free, gasping. Amira's glass shatters in her hand. We move now. She turns to Lurk. Lurk is her creative. He's her guard. Wake Lawrence, deploy Nomi, notify Carrie. And they got Carrie down packed. So Carrie like builds weapons and stuff for gods. And he just like you can call him up and say, "Hey Carrie, I need a flux capacitor or something like that." And he'll in like a dimensional pocket will open it up and he'll airdrop it down to you.
Hey, Sasquatch.
Hey Sas. Um
Ariel, the thing about technology failing, that's true across all Samuels in all realities.
yeah. Yeah, like Samuel Prime. The only reason why he was able to get through is because something failed and he created a rift that he was able to walk through.
Hmm.
Because there was like because in the cathedral there was a machine or something that was holding it steady, but when you showed up, it failed, and the pocket opened up and Samuel Prime walked out. Believe it or not. But this is where I'm at this point. Primary objective: defend Earth from Samuel Prime before he completes the cathedral's transformation into a weapon. Secondary objective: discover what the primordial pact was and why it was sealed. And here's my choice: switch to Samuel Light. Samuel Knight. Oh, Lord, Samuel Knight. Lawrence Knight. Currently tracking a mystic gang called the Crimson Vultures in Chinatown. Two, cut to Carrie loading up heavy Rift Tech gear for Samuel and Lawrence. Three, follow Amira and Nomi as she activates Solution B, Nomi's second cosmic upgrade. Or four, re-enter the Dreaming Cathedral with Samuel leading the charge against Samuel Prime. Actually, no, I think I'm past that. I'm past that. Yep. Yeah, I'm way past that. She upgraded Nomi. I mean, Nomi it made Nomi a powerhouse. Now go, you're ready. Let's save the world. Nomi would say that too. And then of course it drops me right in the middle of a battle in Chinatown. So this is where I'm at right now. Either I go fight my battle, fight yours, cut to Carrie, view from Samuel Prime as he begins warping the Dreaming Cathedral into a doomsday engine.
I mean,
Which is something you would do.
I would go with number 4 myself, but yeah.
Yeah, I know you would. Because I have a feeling if I put number 4, that's gonna turn me into Samuel Prime, which I don't want to do because now I'm undoing all the damn hard work I just spent a week doing. Yeah, but
Yeah.
go with 2. Location: the edge of the dreaming. Samuel arrives. The ancient ground cracks beneath his glowing green boots. As he approaches, the warped reality around the cathedral feels like it's screaming in silence. Space twisted like melted glass, time pulsing erratically. Samuel stands in his trench coat, his single glowing eye scanning the impossible geometry ahead. Then he shifts. His body expands and morphs into the towering, terrible figure known as Sanctioned Form Samuel.
Ooh, I'm an anime villain.
It went full high. This is the first time since I've started the series. This is the first time where you've actually gone full. You've gone no higher than 40 feet. He said, "F." He said, "F that." I'm going full. I'm going full.
I like how he's wearing yellow boots. Like I could just see it, like How I Met Your Mother, where he wears the red boots, even though everyone hates him. He's all pulling it off. There's Sam with his yellow boots.
Ariel, you're
Pulling
supposed to
them
be on
off.
my side.
I wear boots all the time in real life too.
Walking with his yellow boots, pulling them off.
I mean, mine are black, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, these are your powers. Vortex. Oh, I didn't know about this one. Vortex Howl. Forces lesser creatures to kneel or scatter in fear. Now, I knew about this one because I created it. Ultimate Eldritch Mode. When unleashed, reality distorts around Samuel. His power multiplied tenfold. Gains temporary immortality and mind break resistance.
Dude, all this stuff you're adding to Sam, you're gonna give him another power. Big ego.
No, I already had that.
Well, no. Well, what I did was I just said give him Ultimate Eldritch Mode. I just named it. It did all the rest. Like the only thing that I actually asked it to gave some details to was Eldritch Blast and the Tentacle AoE Slam, and even then it still added its own flair to it. I mean, this Tentacle Slam is it's not people in the orbit. It's by far my favorite. The Eldritch Blast is good too, but this thing has brought some comedy. Um, Samuel Prime, you shouldn't have come. This was always mine. Samuel D, you had your chance. Now you deal with what's left of me. I'll stop it. But I just wanted to show you guys just a little snippet of what I've been fighting on the side, just so you guys get an idea of whatever everybody wants to do. Uh, take the week to think about it, and then as always, Sam and I and Devil, we like having participation from you guys. That makes no sense. The shrinkage would be 10%. Either he's 65 feet tall or he shrinks to 10 feet. Well, I mean, it's a story pod, so I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah. Old Blindy says Ultimate Sam has evolved to crab. Carcinization. Everything returns to crab. Yes.
This
If y'all don't know what that is, look it up. It's wild.
Ariel is rooting for your destruction, Sam. Um,
Yeah, she roots
other
for
than
everybody's
that,
destruction.
other than that, announcements. Um, I'm robbing Devil. I am stealing a great idea that Devil has. If you guys, for those of you that follow Devil's content, which is very good by the way, he has and it's got to be my favorite. It's called Get Ranked. Uh, so I'm not a total thief. I'm not going to steal the man's concept, but I would like to do something similar to that with his input. But I definitely think that nothing that takes proprietary work from Devil. But I was definitely inspired by. I've been inspired by a lot of stuff that he does. As you guys know, I'm always looking to improve the show and make things more interesting. But guys, go check out his channel and all of his Get Ranked episodes. They're pretty good and they're very fun to participate with.
Thank you. What? Oh. Yeah. Well, he is black, so it was
Yeah,
to
I
be
mean,
expected.
well, yeah, I am. Well, no, Devil. I mean, I actually now that I think about it, I should have actually brought that up to you in private because I don't even know what you think, how you feel about that. I should have just said something in
I
private.
don't
Bro.
mind.
Anytime, Aaron, you come over, I'll rob you too. Anyway,
Where the white
but
woman at?
but like I said, you guys, give it a week, think about it. We'll come on next week, and we can go ahead and set the parameters, and then we'll move forward with the show. Devil, I mean, you too. I mean, I don't know if you want to try to recreate, what we did with Dermy and Gal. And I don't even think Gal knows we did that. Does she know? Has anybody told her?
Hmm.
I don't think I've
No.
talked to her about it now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, but and of course, like I said, we can always create more than one, you guys. So it's not a one and done type of thing. But like I said, we're always looking to give you guys options and expand on things. Um, let's see. But I said I think we are done with tonight's show at that, unless you guys have something.
Mhm.
Nope,
Because you guys do have a show coming
about
up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, Devil, you wanna go ahead and plug?
Come on over to my channel, Beelzehub, and check out Beelzepub here in a little over half an hour. We've got a couple new guests tonight. Zachary, he's an artist, and Vaughn. He made a comic. He's actually made multiple comics at this point. I bought a couple of them when I was in Vegas. Really cool kid. And so yeah, they're going to be on first time. Hopefully, be a good show.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
It'll
of course,
be,
make me a sandwich in a couple weeks.
Indeed. That reminded me of the thing I saw earlier this morning, a little clip from Married with Children that aired years and years ago. Oh, Al, did you miss me? With every bullet so far. Of course, then she follows up with,
Exactly.
well, maybe you need to use a bigger gun. I love that show. Yeah, check out Devil's channel and Lawrence Knight's channel, Night Lore. Both of the links for those are in the description below. Absolutely. Larry's doing some cool shit over on that channel as well, so definitely give him a follow. Subscription. I forget which platform I'm on occasionally.
Yeah, I'm
Subscription.
running behind though. I have been lagging due to work. I still have to do the for the Storm City. I still have to up. I still got to finish getting the next chapter uploaded, and also I do have an announcement on that. So I am going to start a segment called Nights Adventures, where I will be doing Chat GPT games and stuff. Like what we're doing here, I will be doing it over there as well. Um, and occasionally, I still occasionally will be doing podcasts. When I record a podcast when I find something that a topic or something that I want to talk about. Um, and that's pretty much it for me. You guys can catch me tomorrow. I know Amira will be on, so you can catch me tomorrow in the chat as a moderator for her channel. I am moving again. I just bought a home, so I get the
Congratulations.
keys tomorrow. Thank you. Um, we get the keys tomorrow, so I probably will not be on Screaming into the Void. But like I said, stay tuned, folks. I will have some stuff out next week. I'm just like I said, I'm just plotting out what I'm gonna do and and working on getting the next chapter of Storm City out. So even though you guys haven't seen it, I'm literally you know trying to improve it. I'm gonna add more musical scores to it and stuff like that. So
Yep. Doing cool stuff. And again, congrats on the house purchase. That's awesome.
thanks. None, Ariel, none that I know of.
How many bought it? I mean, depends on how long they've been there, I guess. But anyhow, as for me, next thing up after Beelzepub, which is here in about half an hour, like Devil said, over on his channel, is Screaming into the Void. Got a couple of topics for this week, but as usual, we'll see how it goes. And then over on Exiled Lioness 2, probably be over there helping out tomorrow night. Mellow Mondays on Monday on Adam the Renaissance Nerds channel, then right back here for Abyssal Musings next week. That's pretty much it. That's the schedule. Also, I would like to take a second to shout out everybody who's been watching and rewatching the shorts recently, because they're doing fantastic numbers. We've done 3,000 views on shorts this week, so appreciate that. I know some of you guys are at least watching them, so that's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, Samuel's gained 300 views on his underpants.
I mean, you know, I probably wouldn't be, but I got this like big old hole in the outer pants, like right where my junk is. So, you know, everybody, it's like a window, but there's nothing there. There's like no glass, no plastic, nothing. It's just.
Well, then are you getting views on your underpants or on your genitalia?
Depends on which underpants I'm wearing that day, I guess.
he's got like reality OnlyFans going on, I guess.
Yep. So, but that's pretty much it, folks. Thanks for coming. Hope you enjoyed the show. We'll see y'all next time. And remember, it could always be worse. It could be raining flaming cobras. Bye, everybody.